All right, I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of how a full-service restaurant can set up online bookings for themselves. So first, head on over to Settings, and our first stop will be Schedules. We want to set up our general availability for our various meal services and tables. By default, everyone is open all the time. It's probably not what you want if you're actually going to try to set up online bookings. So, here let's why don't we say, this restaurant is going to be open from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. Apply that to every day. You do have the ability to move to the next day if you want to, say, on Saturday nights be open till, call it 2 a.m. You can do that. You also have the ability to enter multiple sets of hours for a given day. Like if you want to have a breakfast service from 8 a.m. to noon, and then from 1 to 8 p.m. be open separately. But we're not going to do that right now. So this is just what we'll set, and maybe we'll mark Monday as closed as well. Let's see. I think that works. One other thing maybe a lot of restaurants like to do is set up a separate reservations schedule. If you want to have a little bit more control over your reservations, you might, if you only want to accept reservations from, call it 4 p.m. to, 8 p.m. or last reservation, call it 10 p.m. So if your dinner is a 2-hour service, your last reservation would be at 8 p.m. in order to end by 10 p.m. Also, just the quicker way to do that is 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Apply it to every day, then go back and mark yourself as closed. And so your reservation schedule is now a subset of your business hours schedule. Up to you whether you want to maintain two schedules. For the purposes of this demo, maybe we'll just delete the reservation schedule, and so we're back to this being when we accept reservations. One thing I would also show you about schedules, though, is that we can set certain days as exceptions, or set certain hours for particular days. So this is just how you would mark yourself as closed, say, for the 4th of July, if you want to do that, or if there's other holidays. You just click Set Detailed Hours by Date, and let's see, Memorial Day is probably the 26th this year. Click Edit Detailed Hours, and you can change your hours for the day. And maybe you're open 8 a.m. that day, but you want to close by 10 p.m. that day, or 8 p.m. that day, just to make it a little bit different. So you have the ability to close yourself on certain days or change your hours for certain days by using this Edit Detailed Hours by Date. In any case, now we have a schedule that determines kind of the range of possibilities for when we can take reservations. Next is Services. First thing you do is click Enable Services and hit Save. Now, if you're a full-service restaurant and you signed up like that, you will have a dinner service already set up here, and you can certainly keep that. I'm going to go ahead and change this to Dine-In, since I set ourselves to be open from about noon to 10 p.m., and I don't really need to differentiate between lunch and dinner. And yeah, we'll keep it at... The main thing the services do is determine how long something lasts. So for this, we'll set an hour and 45 minutes. There are some other things you can set here, like a price. You can set if you want to enable a Stripe integration to collect a payment for a reservation. You can set up that in integrations, but you would put the price here. If you want to give people a direct URL for booking this particular service, you can do that as well. It's pretty uncommon for restaurants. And then making this available for both reservations and people who are adding themselves to your wait list is an option. Let's see. And then the other main important thing to do on this page, besides setting your duration, is assigning a schedule to it. So we only have one schedule right now, but business hours is the one we will use. So the last thing you do is just click that to enable it. By default, it comes up as disabled. So you are all set now to head over to Resources and Table Management. For restaurants, a resource is a table. So we will go ahead and enable that and then save it. If you signed up as a full service restaurant, you'll get 3 tables automatically built in. You can enable them and then add more resources here. I guess the one thing I'd say though is if you are going to set up a floor plan, it's probably easier not to set them up here. Like I would probably delete these and go into floor plan setup, add a floor plan, call it main dining, and then start adding tables here. So you can add a 2 top, call it table 1, and scroll down and add it. And then we can add a 4 top. This is called table 2. We add it. Oh, actually, it's being smart, which is good, and pulling in the tables that already exist in your resources page. But it may be easier to just add more like this. So once we get past what we already have, maybe we have a table 4, capacity 4 to 6. We add it. Okay, so this is a very basic floor plan. But now you can see in in the resource settings, we have table 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as 1, 2, 3. And so just going back here, we added table 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 1, 2, 3 that was already there when we set it up is duplicative and it's not on the floor plan. So up to you how you want to do it. If you want to use floor plans, I would set up your resources that way. If you don't care about using a floor plan, you can just add a resource here like this. Just enter the name, table 4, set the capacity. But the key thing is that you have to make it available for the service you just set up, or the services. So in some cases, maybe you have all your tables available for dinner, but you only have a subset available for brunch, or vice versa. So you may need to fiddle with which services you assign to which tables in here. Just a quick overview. You can see we've got the tables all set here. Oh, got a duplicate table name. Well, I'm going to delete that one. I think it's this one, actually, the one I just set up, because this one is not actually on the floor plan. Just go back and verify. Floor plan 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we'll go with these 4 tables for now. There is a service assigned to all of them. You can also go in here and click your services and apply it to all, but that doesn't do anything because they're already set up that way. And you can see the capacity, and then they are all enabled. Just kind of the way to think about this is your tables determine your capacity, your services determine your duration, and your schedules determine your kind of overall time frame. And so these 3 things need to be linked together. All right, so now we are going to go set up our actual online reservation options. You can choose whether you want to call a reservation an appointment or booking or a reservation for throughout the app. For the purposes of a restaurant, we'll call it a reservation. You can choose to make sure you don't have too many reservations start at the same time. So maybe I don't want, despite having 10 tables available at 6:15, I don't want more than 2 reservations to start at 6:15. So I'll enable that. As you probably know, we show the upcoming reservations in line with your wait list. And so this just configures how many hours of upcoming reservations to show with your, in line with your walk-ins. So I'm going to set that to showing the next 3 hours worth of reservations. This option here, allow multiple parties to book a table. This is good if you have communal tables. If you have tables of 20 and multiple parties can all be seated there, you're going to want to enable this. The thing to know is that this applies to all your tables. So in most cases for full service restaurants, you are probably not going to want to enable this. You have a 4 top, you don't want two-person parties to book that 4 top. So I would not enable that. You can choose how, with online bookings, we auto-assign the parties to the tables. So we do, in order to make sure you don't overbook yourself, assign a party to a table as they book. And you can choose to assign randomly, in alphabetical order, in the order you set things up in the resources section, or round robin. And round robin will use the category or section of the table to kind of assign it in chunks. And I'll go back and show you that in a second because it doesn't quite make sense the way I'm explaining it. So here's where you set up online reservations. And here's how you can set up serving tracking. So once you assign a party to a table and serve them, then you can track them on your floor plan, for example, or in your timeline view. If you don't want to track them after you've seated them, you can disable that. Here's where you set up the reservation interval. So this allows reservations to start every 15 minutes. You can change that to 5, 10, 30, whatever you want, or every hour. If you want to change the maximum days in advance someone can book a reservation, that you do that here. If you want to change the number of minimum minutes you have notice for a reservation, you can do that here. 30 minutes minimum. So if it's 6:15, someone can't book before 6:45. Or you can set it to 0 if you want people to be able to book reservations instantaneously at your next available booking interval. You can also set the maximum parties per online reservation. If you have tables that can accommodate large parties, but you don't want people to book those online, you can change that here. In my experience, it seems like it's pretty common to make people call you if they're trying to book a table greater than 6. Here you can allow your customers to select the table that they want when they're booking. In most cases, restaurants are not doing that, and they're just auto-assigning people to a table. But you can certainly let people select their own table. You would probably just want to make the table names a little bit more descriptive in your resources settings. And typically you would search by party size and search by time. People probably care exactly what time they're trying to eat, and you clearly need to know how big their party is. And that's probably, those are the main things I'd cover here. And so now you have the ability to go view your online reservations. And I'm going to try to select this. Let's see if I can. Well, I'll click it. Let's see. All right, so copy that link, and that allows you to look at your reservations here. And so I'm just going to search. It's giving me, so I searched for 12:30. It's giving me the availability. Well, this is for today. So it's giving me availability within a 2-hour window. If I search for Saturday at 6 p.m. for 4 people, boom. So you get the ability to you just type in name and phone number, you agree to receive text, and they can complete their reservation. So just heading back to our settings here. Oops, just refresh that. You have now completed online reservations setup. The one thing I promised I'd come back to you is the auto assignment options. And so you do have the ability when you're setting up your resources to create a category. Maybe you have section 1 and you want the tables in that area to be assigned to one server, and maybe you have section 2 and you assign that table to section 2. So now you have so the way round robin works is, it'll assign a party to someone in table 1 into section 1, which is table 1 or table 2, or it will assign someone to, and then the next reservation will assign someone to section 2, which is table 3 or table 4. You also do have the ability to organize that in here. You can create sections visually up here, and so if you're using floor plans, I would suggest you do it this way. So section 1 and table 1 and table 2, we're going to make section 1, and we'll give it a color, orange, I guess. It's fine. And then so you can see them grouped that way now, and then go back in here. We'll add another section. We'll make it for table 3 and table 4. section 2. We'll make it some kind of purplish color. So now you have a visual way to kind of map out your sections, and the round robin assignment will honor that too. And so I think that is about all I'm going to show there. You can now go to your floor plan page, and you can see people who are on your wait list, who are booked. Or if you did not enable the floor plan or did not set up a floor plan, you can also click up here to see just your timeline view, and it shows you the hours and your tables. And so it's very easy to add a reservation to different spots here, or to just kind of visualize what's happening. And with that, I hope that helps you get your online booking set up.